Hello and welcome to the Crypto Wig YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Based and their V2 mechanics. This is going to be if you've got V1 already and you're wanting to move some of your assets over to V2 and why you should do that, as well as if you've already got V2, what you should be doing with your V2 tokens to make the most of the mechanics as they currently stand, to maximize your profits. There's no reason you couldn't watch this video if you don't own either. You just have to start with either buying some Based and getting an NFT, or directly buying Smelt or Obol, but we'll go through that later on. Okay, so initially we're saying you've started off and you've got V1 Based. So you're starting here and you're going to take your Based, you're going to go to the theatre and you're going to swap your Based for B-Bond. The B-Bond can then be taken and swapped in the Omni portal for an NFT. And the reason why we're currently doing this, there is way too much Based that was printed during the previous bull cycle, and we need to reduce the amount of Based down to a manageable level so that we can have the correct utility and requirements for the Based to exist. And in doing so, that will then allow Based to repeg with Tomb, which will be at least at a 1-to-1 ratio, which will then get B-share printing again. So you've now got your NFT, and you're going to take your NFT over into the V2 website. The NFT is then going to produce Smelt. The Smelt can be taken and put into the Boardroom, and the Boardroom will then produce Obol. The Obol can either be combined with Phantom if you have some spare Phantom, or you can sell half of the Obol into Phantom and then use that to create Obol Phantom LP. This is then staked, which again produces more Smelt. The Smelt this time, you could either take it from here and directly go back up to there and back into the Boardroom, or what my preference would be, as you'll see in a minute, the APR is the highest in this bull here, so my preference would be to take the Smelt and dump it into a Smelt Phantom LP, and the same principle again exists here. If you have some spare Phantom lying around, then you can just create LP, and I'll show you how to do that. And if not, you need to sell half of the Smelt to buy Phantom, then create the LP, and this Smelt Phantom LP will then produce more Smelt. The Smelt can then be taken and placed into the Boardroom, and then this whole thing becomes a self-sustaining cycle where you no longer have to add anything into it unless you're wanting to grow it rapidly, in which case then you're going to be adding some Phantom from other sources. And personally what I like to do is collect rewards from other protocols, sell them off for Phantom, and currently I am then using that Phantom to combine with Smelt or Obol to create myself more LPs to compound those rewards. So there's the sort of large overview, and obviously you can enter this cycle at any point. So if you don't own anything at all, then if you're entering at V1 you have to start here, but if you're entering at V2 then you can either start by buying Smelt or buying Obol, and you can either put the Smelt into the Boardroom, you can put the Obol into LP, or you can put the Smelt into LP. So you've got 3 different places down here where you can put it. Now this will make more sense as I go through the next pages and do a bit more of a deep dive on how we're actually going to make this function and exactly where to go on the websites to be able to buy all these different tokens. But we're starting on version 1. So this is the screen that you're going to end up at. Now, if you've started off and you've got based, what I was saying earlier about them having too much supply, there's currently 25 million based. Now, this was around 40 million before there were incentives to buy B bonds, and as you can see now, there are 9 million B bonds, and this number is the maximum that's actually allowed. It is a percentage of the circulating supply. I think it's around 35%, and what that means is when you go over to the theatre, there are only a small number of B bonds available. But putting that aside for now, coming back to here, so you need to buy based, and you're going to buy based using Spooky Swap or Firebird aggregator would be my preference, because it tends to get you the best prices by combining different dexes. So you are going to buy based, you'll take the based, and then as it showed in the graphic, you're then going to go over into the theatre, and then you're going to purchase B bonds using the base that you just bought. Now, don't worry that this number is quite low, because when this number gets to 0 and there are no more B bonds available, the project team will actually burn some of the B bond supply. So they'll burn probably 500,000 or so B bonds, which will then decrease the ratio between B bonds and based, allowing more B bonds to be created. And the whole point of this is to reduce the amount of based that is in circulating supply. So you came over here, you purchased your B bonds, and then you come back to the home page, and then we're going to click here on the Mint NFT button. So that will then take you to mint.omniportal.io, where you'll see the progress of the mints. Currently we've had 740 minted out of 3,000 possible mints, and this is a slow mint process which is controlled by the number of B bonds that are actually available. You can see how many B bonds are required here to mint a NFT, and this price equates to $500 worth of B bonds, and obviously that price is live. So once you've then minted your NFT, you will see it down here. Now, when I minted mine, I actually had a bit of an issue with using the Brave browser, and it wouldn't display down here, but don't worry, you'll be able to see that you've minted it on chain. And then if you come over to back to the Based Finance website, and this time round we're going to click on the next gen. So now we're on the next gen homepage, and you can see the new tokens now, OBOL and Smelt. So currently you have an NFT because you've just moved from based 1 into based version 2. So with that NFT, you're then going to come over into farming, and you can see here the 3 available farming pools that I spoke about earlier in the graphic, and their associated APRs. So going into here, this is what you have so far. You've bought yourself a God NFT. You go into here, and as you can see, we are currently paying 1.21% APR, which is massive on something that the value cannot change. So you can see here I've currently got 2 NFTs staked, and in just under a day that has earned me $11 worth of Smelt, which is roughly at that rate of 1.21%. I've got a few hours left yet until it's been 24 hours since I last collected, because I think it was around 3 o'clock yesterday, so I've got another 4 hours yet, so that number will go up a little bit higher. So you come in here, you press the plus button, and this is then, if you didn't see your NFT when you minted it on the other screen, this is where you'll see it. So here it would say 1 out of 1, or however many it is that you've just purchased, and you can click the select all button, and then they'll select down here, and then click the stake button, accept it on your MetaMask pop-up up here, and then that will have staked your NFT. So once you've staked your NFT, that's then going to produce Smelt. So as I said then, on the graphic, you have to then go to the boardroom with your Smelt, and then you go and stake your Smelt into the boardroom. So once your Smelt is staked in the boardroom, you're watching this timer up here. So it pays out every 24 hours, and it's going to pay out at a rate of 3.21%, which is 6.2 obol per Smelt. There's currently 170 staked. So if you had one Smelt in there, you would produce 6.2 obol per 24 hours. Currently on this wallet, I have 0.2248, so just underneath 1/4 of a Smelt. So I would be producing 1/4 of the obol per Smelt. So that would be around 1.5 obol. And you will see that over here. So when the timer gets to 0, then your rewards will become available over here. You can claim the rewards. Obviously this timer has to be 0 as well for you to be able to claim. If you come over here and add more Smelt into there, then it will reset this timer, and this timer will always be the same as this timer here. So you won't be able to withdraw until the next 24-hour cycle has completed, and then this will become available again. So you take your obol, and then you come over to farming again, and you're going to go into the obol Phantom LP. And on this account I don't actually have anything in here currently, but the intention is that you will take the obol and you will combine it with Phantom, and then you can stake it into here, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So I haven't approved these. I can't do it on this computer because I don't have my hardware wallet with me right now. So I can't approve the transactions, but what the page would look like is this. So you'd have this button here. So provided you've got the correct amount of Phantom and obol available on the previous screen, that would allow you then to create LP. And once you've created the LP, you will go and stake it into here. So as the graphic said, this will then produce more Smelt. This Smelt can be taken, and you can do one of two things with it. You can either go down the same route as you did with the NFT. You can take it, you can put it into the boardroom, so you can add it into here, or you can come into here and you can add LP into this one. And as you can see, so this one's actually paying the highest APR. So if we just click back through them, you can see we're getting 1.2% on the NFT, we're getting 2.76% on the obol Phantom LP, and this is paying 3.21% in the boardroom. But this one's single stake, so obviously you haven't got any issues with impermanent loss if that's something that you're worried about. But finally, the highest APR is in the Smelt Phantom LP at 5.65%. And you can see I've actually got the largest amount of money apart from the NFT staked in here, which is earning me Smelt. But what's actually going to happen, because this is producing at a larger rate than the Boardroom is, these rewards being put into the Boardroom, and I mean this is 3 days worth of rewards from the 2 NFTs and the $700 that's in the LP. So it's paid out $200 on around $1,700 after 3 days. That's a phenomenal payout, and this number's just going to keep increasing. And the likelihood is that the price of a Smelt will also increase, and that is because the O-ball prints are, well, initially they were set at 1.25% of the current supply, so you're looking at this number here, 1.25% of that, but they've increased that now to 1.5%, so we're actually getting more per print than we were before. So this interest rate has gone up slightly. Excuse me. So we're now getting 3.2% per day. When we go and look at the charts, you can see, so the O-ball price has had a very nice steady rise over the last, it's a 7-day period. So we've had a very nice steady rise as people are buying it, and they're buying it because they want to create LP, because the percentage that it's paying is so high. So this is going up nicely. It's got a very nice upward trend. Smelt is kind of sideways at the moment. If we go on to a longer period chart, so you can see it's established itself a floor, where it's supporting on the price, and we're talking in dollars here, rather than in Phantom, and the price is likely to increase. So as the O-ball prints increase, the price of a Smelt will also increase, because the APR will increase, and then other people are going to want to get into there. So I mean, this is Firebird that I talked about earlier, and like I say, if you was going to be buying something, I would do it through here. So let's say you're doing, I'll give you this as an example, right? So if you was to buy 100 USDC of based, that would get you 2,474 based. And this is the reason why I say to do it through this route, because watch what happens if I try to buy $100 of based using Spooky Swap. Look how much lower the number is. Look at the price impact, 17.83%. That's because there is no LP which provides a direct path between USDC and based. So if you wanted to do it through Spooky, what you'd have to do is swap to Tomb first. You see now there is almost no price impact. So when you look here, you can see the route that it's taking. It takes your 100 USDC, it swaps it to Phantom, and then swaps it to Tomb, and then swaps it to based, and that actually gets you, 20% better rate than if you went the direct route of USDC. So there you'd only be getting 2,000. Here you're getting 2,400. So that is definitely something that is worth considering. So the other thing that you're going to need to know is, if you're going to sell O-ball or Smelt, there is a 10% tax when you sell. And what this means is, if you're in here, you have to get your slippage number and it has to be at least 10%. But bear in mind, if the tax was 0, then your slippage would be one of these two options, and so you're going to have at least 10 plus what the normal slippage would be. So I've found on Firebird 11% works, and you have to ignore this this warning here. Click close, and then you can see down here you now have a slippage of 11%. If you're on Spooky Swap, then where is slippage on here? I've lost it. There, slippage, right. So you click here on the little pencil button. That then gives you the option to insert a custom slippage, and 11% works sometimes, but you may be better off going for 11.5 or 12 through Spooky, purely because that seems to work ever so slightly better, and it guarantees success rather than every now and again getting a failure. So you're wondering why is there a tax? What happens with that tax? So we'll just see up here this statistic, the boiler room. So this is OBOL and Smelt that has been collected through taxing purchases and sales. So you can see the tax rates down here. So you see that OBOL is only taxed when sold but not bought, whereas Smelt has a 5% buy tax, which likely explains why this one's going up and this one isn't, because people are probably reluctant to pay the 5% tax, even though Smelt's actually got a much higher APR. The 10% taxes apply on the sale for both, and all of the tokens that are collected go into the boiler room. So 50% of these tokens are used to create LP. So they sell half. So they take half, they split it down the middle. So let's go with this one that's 5. So 2.5 of that would be designated to go to LP. So they then half that 2.5, they sell half to Phantom and leave the other half as Smelt to create LP. And that is protocol-owned liquidity. That allows price stability over a long period. And the same thing's happening with the B-share Phantom LP and the based Tomb LP. The whole point is to try to absorb as much of that as possible to enable long-term price stability through protocol-owned liquidity. So although it may feel painful to pay a 10% tax, you'll actually find that if you're a long-term investor, that this is very, very bullish for the project.